You are 22 years old. You have just graduated and your first real WAT paycheck has cleared. It is $1,920 after taxes. To you, this feels like an infinite resource. This is where the world splits into two versions of the same person. Path A, the investor. At age 22, you make a decision that feels boring. You open a brokerage account on a rainy Tuesday. You don't buy crypto and you don't buy moonshots. You buy a total world stock index fund. The expense ratio is 0.07%. You set an automated transfer for $400 every single month. It is 20% of your income. It hurts, but you treat it like a tax you owe to your future self. Your rent is $850 in a shared house. The room is small and the floorboards creak, but the math is quiet and steady. By the end of year one, you have $4,800 invested. The market returned 8%, so your balance is $4,992. You have $2,000 in a high-yield savings account as a floor. You feel stable. Path B, the consumer. At age 22, you decide you have earned it. You walk into a dealership and sign for a white sedan. The loan is 72 months at 7.5% interest. The payment is $415. Insurance is $180. You tell yourself you need a reliable car for work. This is a half-truth. The trim level was an ego play. Your rent is $1,200 for a studio apartment in the city centre because you want the lifestyle that matches the car. You eat out 5 nights a week, you feel successful. By the end of year one, you have $310 in savings. You have $2,100 in credit card debt from the essentials you bought for the apartment. You are not in a crisis, but you have no floor. The gap at year one is more than just money. It is the direction of the current. One of you is swimming with the tide of compound interest. The other is paddling against a rising sea of debt. You both have the same job. You both have the same 24 hours. But at 2 a.m., only one of you is sleeping without calculating the cost of tomorrow. At age 23, Path A receives a cost of living adjustment. It's an extra $150 a month. You don't see it. It goes straight into the brokerage. Your total monthly investment is now $550. You are living on exactly what you were a year ago, but your wealth engine has increased its RPM by 37%. Path B receives the same $150. You subscribe to 3 new streaming services and upgrade your gym membership to the gold tier. You tell yourself it's an investment in your health. The $150 is gone before the first weekend of the month. You are running faster, but the treadmill is moving at the exact same speed. Path A, age 24 to 26, your salary moves to $68,000. This is the moment most people break. They buy the grown-up apartment. They buy the luxury watch. You do not. You move into a slightly better shared house, keeping your rent at $950. You increase your monthly investment to $1,500. You are 25 and your portfolio hits $52,000. This is the gravity point. For the first time, the growth of your assets starts to rival your contributions. You feel a shift in your psychology. You are no longer working for money. You are working to buy more units of a machine that works for you. When your company announces a 10% layoff, you don't panic. You check your high-yield savings. You have 8 months of expenses tucked away. You are 26 and you are effectively bulletproof. Path B, age 24 to 26. You also get the $68,000 salary. You celebrate by moving into a high-rise. The rent is $2,100. You tell yourself the view will motivate you to work harder. It doesn't. It just makes you anxious about the lease. You use buy now, pay later services for a $2,500 designer sofa and a 4K television. You forget the payment schedule. The interest triggers at 29%. You are 25 and your net worth is negative $34,000. You have level 1 status, the clothes, the car, the apartment, but you have level 0 security. If your car breaks down, you have to put the repair on a credit card. You are living a high-definition life on a standard-definition budget. If you are finding value in this breakdown of the math between these two lives, make sure to subscribe. We explore the hidden realities of wealth that schools don't teach. Join the community of those building a system, not just a lifestyle. By age 27, Path A has $95,000. You decide to deploy your capital. You buy a duplex. You live in one unit and rent the other for $1,200. Your mortgage, taxes, and insurance total $1,700. Your effective rent is now $500. You take the $450 you saved on housing and add it to your monthly investment. You are now pushing $1,950 into the market every month. You are 27 and you have deleted your largest expense. You are a system operator. Path B is 27 and trapped. You want to buy a house, but your debt-to-income ratio is too high. The bank looks at your SUV payment and your credit card balances and says no. You are forced to keep renting at $2,200. You feel the system is rigged against you. You don't realize you rigged it yourself 5 years ago. Path A, age 28 to 35. The duplex is no longer an experiment. It is a predictable engine. At 30, you move out of the duplex and into a modest condo. You rent out both sides of the duplex. The cash flow after the mortgage is $600 a month. You are 31 and your salary is $94,000. Your total investment rate, including rental cash flow, hits $3,200 a month. The compounding is no longer a slow crawl, it is a gallop. Your brokerage account crosses $380,000. At an 8% return, your money is now earning $30,400 a year while you sleep. That is $2,533 a month of passive growth. You realize that your money is now working a full-time entry-level job for you. You don't celebrate with a luxury purchase. You celebrate by buying a second rental property, a small single-family home in a working-class neighborhood. The math is simple. $1,400 in rent, $950 in expenses, another $450 added to the monthly engine. By 35, your net worth is $720,000. You drive a 10-year-old car that is paid off. You don't look rich, you are wealthy. Path B, age 28 to 35. You are 30 and earning $94,000, but you feel poorer than you did at 22. Your SUV is starting to cost money in repairs, so you trade it in for a luxury electric vehicle. The payment is $850. Your rent is $2,600. Your student loans are still at $11,000 because you keep taking deferments to afford vacations. You decide to invest in your brand by taking a luxury trip to Europe. It costs $7,000. You put it on a travel rewards card. You tell yourself the points make it free. They don't. You carry the balance for 18 months at 24.9% interest. At 33, you get married. The wedding costs $42,000. You take out a personal loan for $20,000. You justify it as a once-in-a-lifetime event. By 35, your household income is $170,000, but your fixed costs are $8,200 a month. You have $6,000 in a 401k. You have $82,000 in total debt. You are one bad quarter away from a total collapse. You look successful in photos. You are drowning in the shallows. The difference at 35 is the nature of your stress. Path A is stressed about property taxes and maintenance schedules. Problems of ownership. Path B is stressed about credit limits and minimum payments. Problems of permission. One is building a fortress that will stand for generations. The other is decorating a tent in the middle of a hurricane. Path A has optionality. Path B has obligations. The math has moved from a suggestion to a permanent reality for both of them. Path A, age 36 to 45. You are 40 years old. Your brokerage account holds $1.4 million. Your rental properties are worth a combined $1.2 million with only $200,000 in remaining debt. Your net worth is $2.4 million. The dividends and rental income alone generate $9,000 a month. You are 42 when you decide to leave your corporate job, not because you hate it, but because your time has become more valuable than your salary. You spend your 40s building a consulting business on your own terms. Your 2015 car finally dies. You buy a new one with cash. It doesn't affect your net worth because the interest on your portfolio paid for it in 2 weeks. You are 45 and the world looks like a playground of options. You have time wealth. Path B, age 36 to 45. You are 40 years old. Your net worth is $18,000. Most of that is the equity in a home that requires a new roof and a $15,000 HVAC system. Your luxury EV is worth $20,000 less than you owe on it. You are 42 when the company restructures. You are laid off. Because you have no floor, you panic. You take the first job you can find, even though it pays 20% less. You spend your 40s chasing the next bonus just to pay off the wedding loan from a decade ago. You are 45 and the world looks like a cage. You have status wealth, which is just a more expensive version of being broke. Path A and Path B at age 60. Path A checks her accounts on a Tuesday. The balance is $8.2 million. She is establishing a trust for her family and a scholarship fund. She doesn't remember the $400 she invested at 22, but that $400 is the reason she owns her life. She is a dynasty. Path B checks her accounts on a Tuesday. She has $190,000 in a 401k. It is not enough to retire. She realizes she will have to work until she is 75. She looks at her designer bags and her old luxury cars and realizes they are just tombstones for the millions she never made. The system doesn't care if you are a good person. It only cares if you understand the difference between an asset and a liability. One pays you to exist. The other charges you for the privilege of looking like you do. Path A bought freedom. Path B bought a facade. The gap started with one paycheck and one decision. The math did the rest. It always does. It's not a secret. It's just arithmetic with a long memory. The path you are on today is the life you will inhabit tomorrow. Choose the math that sets you free. Choose the asset. Avoid the liability. Because at 60, the only thing that matters is the system you built when you were 22. The balance is what's left when the status is gone.